Bitcoin to $45,000. So there's a few reasons. I'm gonna go through the main ones very quickly and simply. First and foremost is the 50-week MA, which is this green line, and the 100 MA, which is that white line. As you can see right here, for last cycle, this is on the weekly chart. This is that pump of 2021, and then the second pump 2021 to 69K. It respected that green line. It never crossed it. It came here and it bounced right off of it, bounced off of it again. Right here, it actually closed under it, and then it closed under it again, dumped, and then it had a relief rally back to the same one, and then dumped. And once it hit the 100 MA, it pretty much crashed down, right? And then there's another moving average actually where it lands right here, but I don't really want to get too much into that. I believe that's like 350. This is my my personal indicator that I made. So yeah, 350 MA right there. And as you can see, for this cycle, as soon as the bull market started, which was right here, right? We don't like, there's no need to buy here and buy here and buy here. You just wait till right there. It supports the 50 MA. So right here, you buy, right? And as you can see, it came down here. It still supported it. It closed one candle, not two. And then came here, right? This is the tariff crash, right? Still bounced off, and boom, right here, crashed under it. Okay, we had one, two, we have multiple candles that closed under. Okay, so this is the same situation as we had right here. So expecting a relief rally to the 50-week MA. Either we go above it and then, okay, we're still in a bull market, or we reject and we go down. Or we don't even have to go up there. We could just reject straight down. That's also the other option. The other thing is that an uptrend is known to look like this: higher highs, higher lows, right? But the moment you come down and you crash that recent high, which is what we did here, look, high, low, higher, higher, low, right? Higher high, and then boom, we crashed on this high right here. Now what usually happens is we go back up to retest it as now a resistance, and then we go lower, so on and so on. Or we just go straight down, or we go above it. Okay, that's kind of usually the situation. But so that's the second thing. Now the third thing, this is something that I actually just noticed today, but this is Bitcoin on the 1 year chart. So every single candle is 1 year. See, I marked them right here, 2017, so on and so on. Check this out. By the way, there's something that's known in trading that usually you sweep the highs before you go lower. This first bear market, as you can see, that wick is lower than the bull market wick, right? So it didn't sweep it. The second one, also same thing, 2018, it wicked here, not up here. So it didn't sweep it. It didn't sweep the highs. 2020 or 2022, right? Look right here. See that little wick? Did not sweep the highs. Oh, what do we have here? 2025 definitely swept those highs. Went way past those highs, as you can see in that wick. Okay, usually what that means, right, is that the next candle is most likely also going to be red. That's just, I'm just talking about probabilities right now. That's really it. It's not like, oh, I would like it to do this or that. It's just pure probabilities, okay? The only thing is that it did wick down here as well, but still, this wick is way longer. And if you have a little small candle like this with a huge wick, it usually means that the dump is like kind of serious. It kind of actually takes over this whole thing, all right? The thing is with 45K also is if we do come all the way down here and we bounce off of these, look on the right, what is that? 46,000, 46,000-ish, right? My $45,000 target is not a 100% target. It's really more so like from 40 grand, like really 35 grand all the way to 50. But I think 45 is like, that's probably nailing it on the head. As you can see for the last bear market also from 2022, it came all the way down and it wicked right here. It kind of barely tapped these. It didn't go all the way down, but barely tapped it. It's really just expecting the same thing to happen here, which is 45K. So now the next thing is just pure support resistance, right? As you can see, if you take the all-time high from 2017 and 2021, when it tapped both times, it also aligns with 2025. See, we rejected here, we went above here, and then we came down, went above, and then we came down. As you can see, this is a resistance level, right? And then our support levels from the 2020 lows and 2022 lows, right? So because we respected the resistance level from the last two cycles, if you expect it to do the same with the support levels, right, as it bounced here and it goes down, if it does continue to go down, then the support level is around right here. It would be around 33 to 42 grand if it even taps to that, right? If it taps it, it's actually like around 33 grand. I don't think it will go that low. I think really 45 is like a solid number. I don't really plan to buy either of those. I really plan to buy once I see it actually break into a new uptrend and go above key moving averages like it did here. You could buy at the absolute lows, which is amazing. Maybe I'll put in a little bit when on the 45K mark, but really it's once it passes these moving averages right here and it tests them as support, then that's a good time that's a less risky time to buy. That's a different video. So another thing is, this is more mathematical, and it's actually how many days of bull and how many days of bear we have, right? If you play that out, usually bear markets span about 365 days. So if you go from right here, this is weekly though. Right here is like kind of the low, 357 days, whatever ish. If you take that high and you go the same thing, 300, 50, 365, whatever, about those days, you'll get around October 6th. Really, kind of should be October 5th. That gives it enough time to really come down, and then that would be the bottom. I wouldn't expect the bottom to be straight down, or I wouldn't expect it to come all the way down into 2027. So it makes sense to be Q4 2026. It's just different confluences that just align. It's like the stars are aligning here type of situation. Now, if you go by the 4-year cycle, then let me turn that on. So this is the 4-year cycle, right? But basically you're supposed to DCA in these times in this year, and then you start taking your profit here, and then this is the range of taking profit basically. All right, this is the range of DCA when you start buying in. As you can see on Q4 right here, December of that profit taking year, that's where it topped. Okay, Q4, see, this is October, November is when it topped of 2021. And there we go. Look at that. October, November, it topped. And so from one bottom to the other, so from one DCA to the other is about, this is just give or take, okay, because I don't want to go and be super specific, is about 197 bars. So from here to here, if you do 197 here, which is around September, which is just a couple weeks away from October, that October 6th that I'm talking about, or October 5th. If it follows the 4-year cycle, then the DCA with the bottom would be around right there, which again just falls in line with everything else that I just showed. That would be around right here-ish. What else do we got? I do want to pause here and say that if you put a middle line in between resistance and support, sometimes price does actually go and bounce off of that and go back to all-time high, or bounce off of it and go lower. The point is, there is a possibility that it could not go down here at all, and it could just bounce from here, and then that is enough momentum to blast through that resistance and make a new resistance elsewhere, which co-aligns with 74, that 74,000, 70K recent all-time high. Here is some type of hope for a bull case of 2026. You see this green MA right here? This is the bull case, is that we go boom, and we go boom, and then we go boom, right? And in this case, like one would say like, oh, but I don't want to buy all the way up there. Well, this is why profit taking is an amazing thing. Even if it does all this and goes all the way up here, that's $111,000, right? I was calling in literally in this group chat, I made a video over here. When you sell in these tops, like if you sell at 118, like right here, if you sold right here, you don't care to buy here because you're still profiting off of it. You're still buying more Bitcoin compared to what you sold it for, right? But at least now your risk is way lower, right? Which is just that 50-week moving average again. And your reward is way higher because now we've just bounced off of it, right? The last thing is, again, it's these wicks. These wicks are gnarly. So look at this, wick. So top, double top, down, right? Top, double top, down. Top, double top, down, right? But then this whole thing is a double top. Look, top right here and a double top, right? And then we got down. And then what's crazy, this whole thing is a top and this whole thing is a double top because it topped right here at this resistance level. So you can call this a top and a double top. And that's a lot, like that's a lot of price. That's going back to 2024, I think. Yeah, December. With that being said, yes, it can go much lower, and it does, right? And here's the last thing. I forgot about this. Oh, by the way, 2021 was the same thing. Top, double top, down, right? So check this out. Another reason it can go that low is 2027 or 2017, the bear market went down 77%. That was that year. 2021, 73%. Okay, so honestly, we could say that was like 4% difference. So another 4%, so 69%, right? But I'm being compassionate here. I just put 60%. Okay, let me raise this from the actual high. Right? Let's say 63%. 63% is where at 46K. Right? If you actually go to the 69, that's 38K. Right? But I'm just being, I'm just not trying to be as chaotic here, okay? It can go lower. I doubt it would go this low, right? It just would not make sense. But 38K is also on the books. Again, my base case is 45K. I could be wrong, but the point is though, if it's a bear year, like we're gonna get these huge drops, just like we always do. Why would this time be different? Especially if this time is already proving that it's the same because it's done the same thing as every other time. Lost a 50-week MA, which is that green line. Topped and double topped, just like here, topped and double topped on the same resistance from here all the way across that I showed you, right? Like everything, we had a bearish divergence, just like we had here, bearish divergence. We're literally in a downtrend on the daily chart. As you can see, this is a textbook downtrend. Literally a downtrend, right? Wherever you want to place that. Point is, lower lows, lower highs. We're in a downtrend, so it needs to break, which it actually is starting here, but I'm not trusting this, to be honest with you. I want to see what happens. I do think that it will do, like, again, I still am looking for a relief rally up to that green MA, which is also 100K. 100K is also a big resistance level psychologically. So I do expect, this is what I'm expecting, is that we do get something like that, and then we reject and go lower. Again, if we go above it, that's a different case scenario, and I'm wrong, and then I buy back in. Who cares? It's not about being right or wrong. It's about just playing, the most probable case. But yeah, it does look like it's trying to. We'll see what happens. Now for the other things like XRP, Solana, all that stuff, like, okay, if Bitcoin comes down to 35K, those things are cooked. They're cooked. They're absolutely cooked. Let's just people like to say zoom out. Okay, zoom out then. Let's look on the 3 months. If Bitcoin goes down, where do you think this is gonna go? It's not gonna go higher unless this time is, quote unquote different. By the way, look what happened here when we swept the highs right here of the last candle. We had a little bear and then we just crashed, right? So that's what I'm expecting here, is that it's been holding this support area right here. Again, we could have a little pump like this 3 months. The first quarter of 2026 could be the relief pump. Like, that's what I'm kind of expecting. I could be wrong. So we could do that, and then we just crash. And if we do crash and lose this support right here, that support, where's our next support? It's not anywhere but down here. Again, like, I have $50, but this is like, again, like, this is me being like, this is like a compassionate number. There's a word for it, I can't think of it, but in reality it's more so right here. $33, $40 Solana, which is like, it sounds crazy, but again, like, we were at 260 and we went all the way down to $9. It's not actually crazy at all. This time we went to almost 300. Yeah, it's not crazy to go to 20 or 25 bucks. It's really not. This is like very typical. XRP is just like, XRP is honestly just a pump and dump. Like, insane pump, insane dump. Like, pump, dump, pump. And look at this candle. Oh my goodness. Let's look at the 6 months, because I think it just closed. Yeah, XRP is just horrendous, but the bottoms do look kind of like this. So this is where I'm expecting, like, this area. There's a lot of other stuff. Yeah, let me know what you think. Day in this video became so much longer than it was supposed to be, bro.